So following the subject of my previous video that I just uploaded, I actually just recorded that video right now, but I remembered this thing that I meant to make a quick video about in the past and I never did. So along the lines of, I guess, Christianity being censored and Satan being promoted. Again, I'm not a Christian. These are just patterns that I notice. I'm a pattern recognizer. I'm an observer, right? Some months ago, an online contact was talking about Orthodox Christianity, and because of that individual, I started looking up videos or maybe clicking on some links that they provided or something, because then next thing you know, in my YouTube Shorts feed or my YouTube Shorts algorithm started automatically showing me Orthodox Christian short form content. I was also watching some longer stuff, but mostly it was in the shorts. It was like this whole channel was opened up to me of content creators that are putting short form Orthodox Christian content. So if I'm just flipping through like this without searching anything, without looking for it, because of what I had searched and because of what I had watched around that time, just by flipping like this, I would find Orthodox Christian content. Out of nowhere, immediately, right when that started to happen, at the same time, just flipping like this randomly, I would see videos of like gay pride stuff where as soon as you flip onto the video, it shows two men kissing and rainbow flags and like this gay pride content, like militant gay pride content. And again, I'm not against that at all. I've got a couple gay friends that I communicate with. It's not about being anti-gay. It's not about being Christian. I'm neither one of those things. But I noticed the pattern. I recognized that as soon as Orthodox Christian content became part of my algorithm or part of my feed, at the same time, YouTube decided that it was a good idea to start showing me men kissing each other and this stuff. And it's like automatically programmed into the system, into YouTube, to try to antagonize Orthodox Christian people or Christians in general. Is that what happens? Because normally, I guess I don't look that stuff up. So that whole battle, if you will, isn't even a part of my feed. I mean, normally it's just, to be honest, it's a lot of brain rot, trash, and garbage that ends up being pushed by YouTube. Because I've spent more time than I'd like to admit flipping through YouTube Shorts in the past year or two. And I've tried saying, don't recommend this channel, and putting thumbs down and everything I can to the content that I don't like, and then putting thumbs up and even subscribing to the stuff that I do like. No matter how much I interact, YouTube still stubbornly decides to push brain rot, garbage, trash in my face, knowing damn well that almost every time I see it, I say, please don't show me this, not interested, don't show me this channel. It's like they disregard all of that stuff. It's weird. Like I've tried shaping the algorithm and I really can't. But when it comes to this, as soon as, and I've never seen that, I don't recall ever flipping randomly and seeing gay pride content in my feed. But as soon as I started to look up or interact with Orthodox Christian content, YouTube decided to show me, like I said, militant gay pride stuff. And it's like, I'm serious. It's like, within a fraction of a second of you entering the short, that's two men kissing. And then other stuff. And again, it's not that, like, I'm not an Orthodox Christian or Christian at all. I don't see that as, ungodly or whatever. It's not for me, right? But it's interesting that that's the program that they have. That's what YouTube decides, is that we want to show gay pride stuff to people that we think hate gays in order to antagonize them, or something like that. It's just a weird, weird system. I feel like YouTube is gone. Like this whole fucking platform is just cooked at this point. It's over. It's trash. Like it started out so cool, and I've wanted it to be like I'm still here doing what I've always done. I'll probably stay here and just watch everything happen. But like between the censorship and stuff like this, which this isn't censorship, nothing was being censored. It's like the algorithm, the program is designed to antagonize users, right? And it's not that I felt that I was antagonized, because it wasn't like the most disgusting thing in the world for me to see two men kissing and to see this gay pride stuff. But it wasn't until I interacted with specifically Orthodox Christian. I don't, maybe it's with any Christian content, but it happened to be a lot of like, even the longer form content, like Orthodox Christian chants and hymns and Gregorian chants and stuff like this. Like, I mean, very rapidly, it wasn't the same day probably, but very rapidly after engaging with that content, it starts showing me, it starts like, it's just like negativity. They start showing you, I guess, what they think you're interested in, but that's not interest. That's like trying to antagonize somebody. Weird shit. I mean, and this isn't breaking news, right? We know this is going on, but I just wanted to share that from my own personal experience recently, or within the past year. I don't know when that happened, but I thought that was interesting. That's how that went, because as soon as I periodically I do this, I wipe my history, and I try my best to be very conscious about the content that I watch, even if we don't think about YouTube Shorts, just the content that I watch on YouTube. Because over time that happens. It's like things I never asked to see, things that are not a part of my interests at all, get pushed in my face because somehow YouTube decides that it's related, whether it's like the opposite of the content I'm looking for, or somehow it's related. They end up showing me stuff that I don't like. And then my mistake, I think, is watching it but flipping past it, or watching it and then clicking the next video without clicking every single time, do not recommend this content. And so it becomes a part of my homepage or whatever, and then I have to inevitably wipe my thing. But since I wiped shortly after that whole thing, wiped the history, wasn't really looking up Orthodox Christian content at all, suddenly no more gay pride messages. That's crazy to me. And I just, this is just one little example. I wonder how many pairs or groups exist like this, where somebody is into this one thing and so they get shown this other thing. I'm sure the main one is, at least in the United States, with political stuff, right? If you align or especially if you have a channel and you're like really showing your political views and you're interacting in the comments, I'm sure that you're shown the opposite, right? In order to piss you off and make you feel like you're at war, in order to make you feel like there's a war going on and that you're separate from your fellow man and that you're part of this group and it's at war with the other group and one of you is losing and you've got to win the battle. It's like, that's like the whole thing that's happening. It's crazy. It's crazy to me, because that's always been, or for a long time, right, on the TV, divide and conquer. The news stations and whatnot, separating people, probably even back to the newspapers and radio, like making people think that they're on these different teams, separating them so they're at each other's throats. But even if that was happening back with the newspapers and radio, it certainly didn't seem as pronounced as it is now. Like it sounds like people were able to talk about stuff a little bit more, I don't know, peacefully. But yeah, these days it's all the way down into your YouTube, which normally for me, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of educational content and interesting stuff, but to be honest, I mostly use YouTube. Maybe I can't say mostly, half and half, because I learn a lot. There's a lot of how-to, a lot of cooking videos and other stuff that I use for that's like practical usage. But a lot of it for me is just, it's entertainment, recreational entertainment. But so now even all the way down to that recreational entertainment, down to the shorts, the YouTube shorts, there's like, I feel like I am being attacked in that space as well. Or it's not really an attack because I can turn my phone off, right? Or put my phone in my pocket. But down at that little, like what I thought was like a recreational level, this YouTube shorts, like TikTok style content, just to keep you busy. Even at that level, it's like programming, brainwashing, or trying to get you to believe that you're on some kind of a team that's at war with another team. It's crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. I just wanted to mention that because I remembered it. I just uploaded the other video that I made hovering around this similar topic, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened. It's weird. Very weird to me. I mean, what's weird is that it's okay and everyone's cool with it and it's fine. And as opposed to like looking at what's happening and seeing that pattern about like that it's intentional. As soon as I look up this type of content, this other like what they perceive to be oppositional content is then pushed as well to piss me off or something is I think what they try to do. Yeah, it's not about because yeah, a lot of us end up, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm human. This is a human thing. Like if I was very much like a solidified Christian or Orthodox Christian, maybe I would see that and be like, oh, look at this. This shit is sick. Look, there's a war going on between good and evil. This shit is evil and blah, blah, blah. And oftentimes I do feel like when I'm sitting in my human self, like on the ground, you know, boots on the ground, it feels like there is a war going on for your mind. There's a war going on for your soul right now between good and evil. But then from the bird's eye view, from like the eagle view looking down, you just see, oh yeah, this is just, it's a play. There's ups and downs. There's quote unquote good and evil, but it's not really. And this is like a school. It's a play. It's a stage. You aren't really a part of any of that. Like you're not really at war with anything. That's how I feel from when I'm separating, when I step out of my human self and I look at the big picture. It's just like almost like shrugging my shoulders like, oh, well, whatever. But then the paranoia that kicks in is going back and forth between those two levels because it's like, well, what if that's what they want me to think? Or what if that's what they want you to do? Is get to this place where you just chill out, you're zen as fuck, and you're looking at it like, oh, none of it matters, none of it matters. Meanwhile, effectively, you have removed yourself from the war. One less soldier in the battlefield, you know what I mean? That's the paranoid side taking effect and thinking like, maybe I should actually be fighting against what's going on. And then the flip side is when you're fighting, you kind of realize that this is eternal. This war is eternal and it will never end. As far as the idea of good and evil in the physical realm, in the realm of the flesh, it really feels like down to the subatomic level, positive and negative. It really feels like it's like part of the nature of what this is, right? I flip back and forth, but anyway, I thought it was interesting that happened, so I wanted to share that. I probably didn't need to speak about this for 13 minutes, but I did anyway. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.